How's it going, everyone? Today we've got a V8 E430 Mercedes-Benz and I'm here with Shaun, the owner.
Hi guys, so yeah, this is my 1998 Mercedes E430 and it's absolutely fantastic.
Why do you love this car so much?
Well, I love this car for many reasons, but I think the best way to sum it up is I have a small collection of cars and this is the car I always go back to. You know, every single day, if I have a choice, it's this car here. So this is the one I'm driving. You know, I have a car that's really comfortable and classy. I have a very fast car and I have a very fun car. Now, this here is all of them combined. It's classy, it's comfortable, it's fun, it's fast, it's everything you could ever want in a car. Just the fact, like, nothing seems to be able to compare to this car in my opinion. Although for my collection, of course. If I was to do just now obviously we are on a slight bit of a downhill here, but that's first gear there.
You're joking. So what's the history about this car?
Okay, so this car is a Mercedes-Benz that was made for the UK market. There's 555 of these E430s in the UK ever in the UK market. This car was owned by a couple who had it for many years from new, and unfortunately they passed away many years ago. The car sat for about six or 7 years in a barn until I found it. Wasn't running. It had some issues. The crankshaft sensor had gone, the fuel pump had seized, and a variety of other things. You know, some rust and etc. I've got it running and I've had it on the road for about 2 years now. It's MOT, it's got very few issues and the issues it have is very minor. You know, I was driving the MRS the other day and there's a few squeaks and rattles and stuff like that there. And that's a newer car. Obviously it's a sports car, it's not designed for silence in the sense like this is.
Is this your daily car?
Yes, like I said, this is the car I go back to every single day. I drive this one here all the time. Now, I try not to drive it as much in the winter time because obviously you have a lot more salt and stuff on the road, which these cars are inherently bad for rust. So I try to kind of keep it off the road a little bit in the summer, in the winter time. Mostly drive it in like, you know, fall, autumn, springtime. A lot of V8s have always been so successful. As well as just how reliable they are. If you look at Africa, for example, that's where I grew up, and every single old Mercedes was a V8 Mercedes because they just never died. They just bulletproof. We've got over 212,000 in this car, and it doesn't even, you know, every single day it starts, it never has any issues, never a problem.
So what's the specs of the car?
Okay, so this is a 4.3 litre V8 Mercedes-Benz. It drives a 4-speed automatic gearbox with an overdrive, open differential at the rear. It's about 1.8 tons, so it's pretty good car. It's very fun to drive. It's got a lot of power to get you moving, and it's just a fantastic car overall.
Shaun has, of course, a VXR with more horsepower, but for some reason this car is just that bit like snappier or faster or something.
I think that the fact that you have the V8 rumble and you got loads of torque, it's the torque you're feeling that's pulling you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not you know, you can have more horsepower, but it's the torque that makes the massive, you know, push.
Is it rare?
Okay, so yeah, that's one thing with these cars here. With the inherently bad conditions for rust, specifically in the UK, and there only been ever 555 of these, a lot of them have been taken off the road, never to be put back on. As far as I'm aware, there's 98 of these left in the UK, but of this specific model, as far as I can find, this is the only one in the UK. And you know, the blue with the avant-garde specific, you know, pre-facelift is the only one in the UK. If I'm wrong, please do leave a comment there. I'd love to see if anyone else has one of these as well, because you know, it's such a great car, and you know, it's good to obviously get the community in it.
What else more would you need?
Exactly. You know, from a turbo 4-cylinder to a 6-cylinder V6 or V8, it's just got everything you need. You got the power when you need it. You got the fuel efficiency because you can just run at so little load on the engine. It's pretty much idling. I think it's a perfect combination.
Do you have to be experienced to drive the car?
You know, actually, this is a very forgiving car. You know, obviously you got the 4.3 litre V8 with 295 horsepower, and it's a lot of power for someone who doesn't know how to drive. You know, in the grand scheme of things, you know, it's a heavy car, so it kind of balances out there. It's very easy to drive because you got the star right at the front, so you can judge your distance of how close you are to another car ahead of you. You know, the back's the only one you can't really do that, but the rear window is very close to the rear of the car anyway. So it's quite an easy car to drive. It's not very wide. It's about 4.8 meters long, which is long in the grand scheme of things, but it's not too bad and it's easy enough to drive. You know, you drive for 10 minutes and you kind of get used to it. Now, like if you're doing about 70 miles an hour down the motorway, you can literally whisper and you don't have to even worry. I keep going back to it. It's just one of the best cars I've ever driven, in my opinion. And you know, we got up a very steep hill here, and you know, there's no effort. The engine's at just under 2,000 RPM. It's not even load, like, you know, there's no load on the engine. It's just, you know, you put your foot down, just
whoa.
That's my phone. Just pulled my phone out of my pocket.
It's that fast it pulls your phone out your pocket. So since you drive it as a daily car, what is it like?
You know, it's a fun car. You know, you've got all the power you'd ever need to overtake. You've got all your creature comforts. You've got air seats as a driver, so you can adjust your bolstering, your lumbar support. It's all, you know, there. You've got a nice steering wheel. You've got your heated seats, which are fantastic. They work out of this world. You know, they're the quickest heated seats I've ever had, and they get very warm. You've got, you know, navigation on the center console. Now, provided it's very old, a lot of stuff on there. But yeah, you've got navigation there. You've got a CD player. But yeah, no, I would say overall it's a fantastic car to have. So like here, if you want to catch up to a car and overtake a car, it just pulls and strong. And, you know, there's no giving up there. It's just, I'm right here. You know, come on man, you're in the wrong lane. You need to be in the hedge because I need to get past.
More creature comforts than you could even get in most modern cars.
Yeah, you know, like a lot of modern cars have a lot of creature comforts. You know, if you look at like 50 different cars and you take the creature comforts from all of them, this pretty much has them. You know, besides obviously your brand new features, this pretty much has all of them. You know, you've got your automatic windscreen wipers. If you get a bit of dirt on your headlights, you've got a headlight washer. You know, you press a button, two arms come out and they spray the headlights, keep the headlights nice and clean. You know, if you've got a phone in there, now obviously the phone is very old. It's very classic. You know, it still works though. It still works, so you can still use it in a sense. You know, it's a great car, and with the number of features it has, I've not come across a car that has the same features at all. You know, we're going down a country road at 50 miles an hour, and I know that doesn't sound very fast, but this is a very bumpy road, and as you can probably see on the camera, you know, we're pretty comfortable. We're not really throwing about the car very much. You know, we kind of just sitting here. Obviously we do have a bit of, you know, movement in the car because it's not air suspension. Yep. Just ordinary suspension, but you know, it's exceedingly comfortable. Just another interesting thing is, you know, when you're driving down the road, a lot of the time people have their brights on. Yep. Or they just have really new cars have really bright lights, like laser lights. Yep. The rear view mirror in this car will actually dim and brighten. So if you're driving,
very smart then, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're driving and someone's got their brights on, yep, you don't get blinded. It dims it for you and everything. Talking about actually the rear view mirror. If you're driving and you find you can't really see out your rear window very clearly, you can actually lower the rear headrests just by pressing a button on the dashboard. You know, they drop down and you can see more clearly. You know, I couldn't mention all the features this car has. And just the sound of the V8s makes a major difference. You know, if you have it's like it's a silent car. Most of the time you can't even hear it running. Like now it's 2,000 RPM, you can't even hear it. It sounds like an electric car. Yeah. And you put your foot down and you just get that V8 roar come to life. It's just a different feeling, a different. You just don't get that in many other cars.
So you've talked about a lot of the interesting quirks about this car. Is there any more off the top of your head you can think about?
Yeah, actually, so if you look at the windscreen wiper in this car here, it doesn't actually just swing on a pivot. Yeah. It actually, as it's swinging, it actually moves out and wipes and moves in. So you actually have a larger area of the windshield that's wiped at the same time. Yeah. Which is quite cool. And so specifically, it's only one wiper. You know, one really handy and nice thing about this car here is when you open the bonnet opens just like a normal car, but you can actually press a button in the corner and it'll open up to 90 degrees, so you don't have to worry about bumping your head on the bonnet, or if you're taking something up vertically upwards, yeah, you know, vertically out the car, you don't have to worry about taking the bonnet off. As you can feel, there's pretty good brakes as well.
What a brilliant car this is. There's so many quirks, so many things to love about this car. So thank you so much for bringing it out.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, and it's a fun car, and I love people who are interested in cars as well.
And we'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace out. Bye.
Nah,
okay.
All right, so focus is on me, guys. Do you want to do that again?
No, it's good. I'm just pissed because I think I had it in manual focus and I had it out of focus the whole time. I just had to check.